everyone, it's Hailey. Happy Bookmas Day 17 and also Merry Christmas! Today we are going to be doing a little book haul. I worked so hard on the aesthetic of the setup, I'm not gonna lie. I moved the Apple TV over to here so that I could have a fireplace in the background. Like, effort was put in, my friends. You can still see this chair, which is kind of annoying, but you know what? Just please ignore it, okay? I even moved my Tim Hortons coffee into a Santa mug for the sake of this video. Like, I was dedicated because today is Christmas Day. I hope you guys are having a fabulous day. If you celebrate, if you don't, I still hope you're having an amazing day. I thought that it would be appropriate for Christmas Day to do a little book haul because Christmas is a day that you get presents, and these are kind of presents to myself, but really they're presents from Book Outlet because today's video is sponsored by Book Outlet because I am now a Book Outlet vlogger friend, which I am so excited about. Book Outlet is where I started doing my book shopping when I first discovered BookTube. It is an amazing website. I highly recommend that you check it out. Book Outlet has a ton of titles at bargain prices, so you get brand new books but at like half the regular price, which is amazing because books are really expensive. They have older titles, but they also have really recent titles. Like the stuff that you find on there, I'm always surprised. I'm like, didn't that just come out? And a lot of times, yes it did, but they still have it at a great price. So I have a link down below for you guys to check it out if you wanted to. That is where I got all the books in today's haul. So let's just get into the haul. I've got some Christmassy books here. I've got some random books, just all sorts of things. I feel like coffee just tastes better coming out of a Santa mug. I don't know why. It's just so festive and cute. I feel like since it is Christmas, I should start with the 3 Christmassy books that I have here. So the first Christmassy book is Hidden Sea by Gregory Maguire. This is a Nutcracker retelling that is all about Drosselmeyer, who is the man who created the Nutcracker. He is the toy maker who carved it the first time, and this actually was surprisingly a signed first edition. I wasn't expecting that, but it is a beautiful book. I love it, and I'm not gonna lie, under the dust jacket kind of creeps me out for some reason. I think it's just the face. I don't know, something about it. It's just very unsettling to me. I am currently listening to the audiobook for this when I'm filming this video. I probably will have finished it by the time you actually see this video, but so far it's pretty good. It's kind of confusing. It's taking from a bunch of different Grimm's fairy tales, and it is weaving this story together that is just now, and I'm about halfway through, getting to the Nutcracker part. There's been a lot of like dreamscape sort of things, which is where I get kind of confused, but the audiobook is a pretty good listen. It's called A Tale of the Once and Future Nutcracker, so I'm interested to see kind of what that means because so far I'm kind of like, what? But I'm also very intrigued. If you don't know, Gregory Maguire is the author of Wicked, among other retellings. He also wrote After Alice, which is one of my favorite Alice in Wonderland retellings, but Wicked was adapted into the Broadway play of the same name, and it's very different in book form, I've been told, but I did actually love the Broadway production. I thought it was amazing. This will be my second book that I have read by him, but my third exposure to his stories, if you count the Broadway play. The next Christmassy book that I have here is The 12 Days of Dash and Lily by Rachel Cohn and David Levithan. I read Dash and Lily's Book of Dares last year when I did my Christmas 24-hour readathon, and I loved it. I enjoyed it way more than I was expecting to, so then this year I was like, I need to pick up the sequel, and when they had it on Book Outlet, I was like, perfect. Because especially for like a little book like this, I feel so bad spending a lot of money on it because I know I'm gonna be done it very quickly, so I'm always like hesitant to actually buy it because I don't want to spend that much money. So them having it at a bargain price just sealed the deal for me, and unfortunately I did read this for my 24-hour Christmas readathon this year. I will link it down below if you guys haven't seen it yet. I read 3 Christmassy books that day. It was a great day, but I didn't really like this book that much. I give it a 2.5 out of 5 stars. There were things I liked about it and then other things that I didn't. So the first book is told in a letter format. It's kind of this romance story that is very angsty where you're waiting for these 2 characters to get together. They're kind of communicating through books. It is a bookish romance. It starts in a bookstore, and it's perfect if you're a book lover. It's also full of Christmas spirit. It is set at Christmas in Manhattan. It's just perfect, but this book is a little bit different. So from the synopsis, I was expecting something different than what I got. In this book, Lily's grandfather has just suffered from a heart attack, so she hasn't been having a great year, and she isn't excited for Christmas, which is very unlike her because that is usually her favorite time of year. So her brother ends up reaching out to Dash and being like, there's 12 days until Christmas, let's get her back into the Christmas spirit and back on her feet again. So I was kind of expecting a lot of Christmas-filled fun across Manhattan with them doing these 12 days of Christmas themed things, but instead it was kind of sad, which I guess wasn't entirely unexpected, but it was a lot of them being apart and kind of accepting the fact that Christmas is going to be changing. They're going through changes in their life, but it's seeing if their relationship can really withstand that. This isn't a recent reads or wrap-up video, so I'm gonna stick to that with my thoughts on it, but I do think it was like a solid, really quick Christmas read, so that was good, but it definitely wasn't my favorite. Next is 11 Other Trainwrecks by Leah Conan. This isn't exactly Christmassy, but it is wintry, so I feel like it still counts. This is a romance story set across 24 hours, which I love those ones. I find they're very quick and amusing to read, but this follows two characters who are super different. They have very different outlooks on romance. We have Noah, who is a hopeless romantic, and then we have Amy, who is absolutely not. She's the complete opposite. Her parents haven't exactly set the best example for her, so she just doesn't really believe in love. So these two teens are on a train ride going upstate New York when a snowstorm hits and the train ends up getting stuck, and they meet on this train, and so a 24-hour romance ensues. This is reminding me a little bit of The Sun Is Also a Star, but also a little bit of The Chaos of Standing Still, and I loved both of those books, so I do have some pretty high expectations going into this one. I think the idea of it is really romantic, and the fact that it's set over 24 hours is definitely intriguing to me, so I'm hoping it lives up to my expectations. So now getting to the other books in my haul. These aren't Christmas themed or anything, and not even really winter themed. They're just books that I had had my eye on for a while, and then when I saw them on Book Outlet, I was like, yes, it's finally time to get them, and now I have them, and I'm excited about them. So let's talk about them. So next is Tiny Pretty Things by Sona Chiraipotra and Danielle Clayton. If you watched Bookmas Day, I don't even know, but the one where I was talking about 2020 adaptations, I'll link it down below if you haven't seen it yet. This is actually being adapted by Netflix, so I've been interested in it for a while, and that kind of made me finally be like, okay, I think I need to pick up this book and read it. This is like a Black Swan meets Pretty Little Liars story that is set at an elite ballet school, and we follow 3 ballerinas who are all competing to be prima ballerina, and you get their backstory, what they're all going through. Obviously, they all have their own struggles as they are vying for this title. I used to read this one series because I did dance as a kid, and dance was a huge part of my life because my sisters all did it. My mom used to teach dance, and there was this series that I read when I was a kid. It was a middle grade series. It was like Ballet School Diaries or something like that. I can picture the covers perfectly, but I can't remember what they were called. But I remember those being one of the few books that I read as a kid, and I really liked it, and I haven't read anything dance themed since, so this will kind of be my return to that sort of thing, and it's definitely going to be a little bit different because those books that I read as a kid were nothing like Black Swan or anything like that, or Pretty Little Liars, like not at all. But I do like the idea of combining that mystery in a ballet school setting and with the competition. Like, I just think that it's going to be really cool and probably pretty high stakes, so we'll see. Next is The Unlikeliest by Carrie Firestone. This will be the second book that I read by her. I read The Loose Ends List, and I read that one on a whim and really enjoyed it. This I had kind of had my eye on, but then I was waiting for it to come out in paperback, and then I got the paperback for even cheaper than I would have before. Like, just excellent times. I love me a good deal, so I do really love Book Outlet. But anyways, this is about the main character who is expecting a pretty boring summer, but then she ends up unexpectedly going viral for her heroic act of rescuing a baby in distress. Honestly, the other book that I read by this author was also like a really random but cool contemporary concept, so I think that's just kind of her thing. With her newfound internet fame, she ends up being introduced to this other group of hometown heroes. It's just a bunch of good Samaritans that come together and like do amazing things. I'm really interested in this book. The concept is super unique, and I just don't know, like, this group of good Samaritans, these teenagers who just go around doing good anonymously, everything about that, I'm like, what is going to happen? So hopefully I will have the time to read it soon so I can find out. Next is The Wicked Deep by Shay Earnshaw. This is not Christmassy at all. This is entirely a witchy story, but this is another book that is being adapted by Netflix. There's no no set release date for this yet, no word on the adaptation that I've seen, but they did buy the rights to it. So hopefully they do it because I very much trust Netflix with adaptations. This is set in a cursed town, and like I said, it has to do with witches, and it's an abduction mystery story. So lots of things going on. Excited to see what's gonna happen. Coffee break. Next is The Queens of Ennis Lear by Tessa Gratton. I did kind of want the hardcover for this one because the hardcover is beautiful, but I prefer paperbacks over hardcover. I know that might seem surprising because I think most of my collection is hardcover, but that's because I buy books right when they come out because I have no patience and I can't wait. But I am trying to work on that, and I'm trying to get more paperbacks because I just find them so much more readable. Like, look at this floppiness. It is beautiful. But anyways, that is not why we're here. This is an adult fantasy that I have had my eye on for quite a bit, and then when I saw it on Book Outlet, I was like, it is time. It's actually a King Lear retelling, which I totally forgot until I was reading the synopsis, and I was like, oh, I see. So there's a lot of kingdom drama going on here. We have trade routes that are being disputed, and then we have 3 daughters. You're kind of seeing the King Lear thing here if you have read it before. So with all this trade route drama, the kingdom's only hope is a new crowned sovereign, but the king won't choose one of his 3 daughters. He won't choose an heir, so that is not happening, and the drama continues. I read King Lear a long time ago, and I don't think I've ever read a retelling, but I'm definitely down for that. Next is The Matchmakers List by Sonia Lawley. This is an adult romance. We couldn't go through one book haul without me having an adult romance on it because that's just who I am now. But the main character, Raina's grandmother, has always been pretty relaxed about her finding a husband, but all of a sudden she goes from having no suitors to meeting a ton of eligible bachelors one after the other, and she is like, what is happening? I really like stories where it's matchmaking happening, especially when the family is involved, kind of like 10 Blind Dates by Ashley Elston, which I loved. I just think that is such a funny concept to be matched up by someone in your family. I feel like there's so much opportunity for hilarity, so I'm hoping that this will be as fun and amusing as my brain thinks it is, but I also think it might be sad just because the grandma, so like I worry for her. Next is The Cold is in Her Bones by Peter Nell van Arsdale. This I had the ARC for, but this finished copy is so beautiful that I knew I had to purchase it, and I didn't know, but it's actually based on the myth of Medusa, which is super fascinating. So it's set in this village where this demon terrorizes the village, possessing girls at random, which is obviously a problem. So the main character, Mila, doesn't know anything about this. She lives on her farm, and that's all she has ever seen is the land of her farm. But then this other girl, Iris, ends up coming and tells her the secret of this demon, and then when the demon comes for Iris, Mila leaves the farm to go and save her. I'm expecting this to kind of be like a modern day fairy tale sort of story, and I'm hoping that's what I'll get from it. And the final book that I got is The Jungle Book by Rudyard Kipling. This is the Mina Lima edition. This is the only other one that I have. I have the Alice in Wonderland one that just came out. It is gorgeous and like one of my favorite editions, but these books are so cool. They are interactive classics. Like, there are all sorts of things. It's just like, look at this. It's so cool. It brings the reading experience to life with these amazing illustrations and all of the different elements that you are able to interact with. Like, how fun! I actually have never read The Jungle Book before. I am familiar with the movie. I haven't seen it in a long time though. Maybe that's what I'll watch next on Disney Plus because that's all I watch now. But this is just such a fun way to interact with this story and experience it. So I think that I might sit down with the audiobook and follow along and kind of play with the different elements of this book. Like, oh my goodness, it's so cool. I was really excited to see such a nice edition like this on Book Outlet because these can get to be really pricey. So if you're looking for kind of nice collector's editions of things, definitely check their website and see if they have what you are looking for really anything. So that is all for today's book haul. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much to Book Outlet for sponsoring today's video. Definitely check them out in the link down below. They are a great place to get books for very inexpensive because, like I said, books can get very expensive. So if you're looking for somewhere to spend your Christmas money and you want to buy some books, check there maybe before checking your local bookstore because you might be able to get more bang for your buck. I hope you have a very Merry Christmas if you are celebrating. If not, I hope you have a good day nonetheless. And I will see you guys again on December 27th for the final few videos of Bookmas, December 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, and 31st. I have 6 videos going out straight in a row, and then Bookmas will be done, but don't worry, I will still have new content coming out after that. But don't forget to click that subscribe button and then click that bell icon so you'll be notified whenever I post. I post new videos twice a week usually, but like I said, said, lots of new content coming out now. If you haven't seen all of Bookmas, I will link the playlist down below so you guys can get caught up with that. And you can also follow all of my social media, all of my handles and links and all that stuff is down below for you guys. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video soon. Bye!